What's up, everybody? Cage again. Um, well, I watched Darth Anonymous. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And Master Vordok. I watched their reverse grip video. Uh, and I still haven't watched how to defeat the reverse grip video yet. I've been meaning to do that. Um, however, um, I want to talk about that. I emailed Darth Anonymous and asked him if this was okay. Um, and he said just do it as a reply video. So that's what I'm doing. I'm replying to their video. Um, and I loved everything they said about it. It's just a transition over from a frontal grip to a reverse grip because you can push with this, whereas you can push with it this way. So yeah, everything you can do in a reverse grip, you can do a front handle as well. And they went over it, and they were showing, the disarms. You want to go for this, not for this, but for this, so you lose your grip. So, I agree with all that. Any way you can disarm them. But, anyways, what I was wanting to show you, today is that I kind of been looking at it differently than everyone else, I guess. Reverse grip can be used in a two-handed format. I kind of don't recommend it unless you're doing like a choreography thing or something. It's probably not suited for as well as battle goes, but um, it, I'll just show you. Um, so basically, instead of starting off in some wide out stance, trying to act all cool for a reverse grip thing or something, trying to act all macho like you would be seeing a Star Killer, start off something small, don't start kind of lopsided on this concrete, but you want to start with something small maybe, so you can kind of get those range of motions that they're talking about all the time. So, with reverse grip, like you said, you have limited motions here. Um, really, it's all limited. But if you take a second hand and you do it, you can go to different angles, all right, and different speeds and different strengths. So whereas if I'm attacking someone and I use two hands, there's a greater power there, and also a greater block there as well. So, does it make a difference? Probably not. But here's the thing: you don't want to go this far over, ever. I think I talked about it before. If you go that far over, if you look, I'm facing where my opponent would be at, right? If I'm this far over, what's going to happen? Obviously, they're going to come in for attack. So, just kind of stay away from going that far. So maybe just go up to here, using a two-hand like this to hold it, so they don't break your grip. Because if they go here, as you can see, it's harder for me to keep it up. And the further we go down the blade, the harder it is for me to hold it. Because if you take a sledgehammer and you try to touch your nose with it, all the weight's in the front. And that's where it gets harder to hold something, is all the weight goes to that front end. So, anyways, so you want to try to keep it as close into your body as you can in a battle at all, especially when blocking, because like you said, if you push this way, it's going to be harder for them. Now, if you are way out here, trying to block like this, as you can see, it's going to come back to you because you went way too far out. All that pressure is going to come back, so it's be hard to keep your grip. All right, your wrists were made to be flexible, not to be standard muscles. Okay, so that's another thing. Second thing is that in the reverse grip, if you are using two hands like this, all right, you can't. You're limited to what you can do. So I'm gonna back up here a little bit. So you are limited to what you can do. You can come up, you can come down, But here's the thing: if I'm in a frontal grip now, I can do that as well. So any angle I can get in a reverse grip, I can get into a frontal grip as well, as they stated before. So a two-handed technique in the reverse grip is good for power and everything, but it really, really limits your range of motion because if I'm using one hand in a reverse grip, as you can see, I'm limited to that range of motion, trying to make sure I stay, try to stay within my area, my center line. So another thing, never come across like this, like I just did. Okay, never like this. Here's the reason why, because that you will lose your grip on very quickly. Okay, so and just to prove to you, all right. As you can see, my saber stays way back there. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna keep my hands the same way. As you can see, my three fingers right there, my middle, my ring, and my pinky are all coming with the rest of my hand. My saber is coming away from the hand. As you said, these three fingers down here, these three I'm waving, are very crucial. But so are these, your thumb and your index. Okay. You really want to be sure, though, that when you are using reverse grip, that you're using your whole hand and not trying to classify it as just those three and those, that thumb, that index finger. And they're not saying that at all in their videos. I'm just saying, just remember to use your whole body as a whole when doing something like this. So, whereas if I'm using two hands in a reverse grip, I can go a complete circle around like that. Alright, but it puts so much restraints against the rest of my wrist, my forearm, my elbow, my shoulder, that it's kind of hard to do that. So, in choreography, that'd be a good thing to use, maybe. Look cool, maybe. But as far as that goes, I think that two hands for maybe a block of sorts, maybe an attack, maybe be a little quicker, and it may be a good idea to use. But other than that, as you can see, you can go much quicker with a front hand too. So, I just kind of wanted to show you all that, just using two hands. It can be beneficial, it can be hurtful, more hurtful than most. So, there you go.